I never thought I'd be here, sharing my story on Reddit, but I guess life has a way of throwing curveballs when you least expect them. I'm a man in my late 30s, and I've recently made a decision that's turned my world upside down. I divorced my wife of 10 years, right after our anniversary celebration. Before you jump to conclusions, let me take you through the journey that led me to this point. When I met my wife, let's call her Sarah, I thought I had hit the jackpot. She was beautiful, intelligent, and came from a well-to-do family. We met shortly after she had broken up with her long-term boyfriend from high school and university. At the time, I didn't know the full story behind their breakup, but I was too smitten to care. I fell head over heels in love with her, and I thought she felt the same way about me. Our courtship was a whirlwind. Sarah's parents seemed to approve of me, which I later realized was a stark contrast to how they felt about her ex. They were so supportive that they even insisted on a prenuptial agreement before our marriage. Being the naive and love-struck fool that I was, I agreed without hesitation. The terms were pretty straightforward. If we divorced before 10 years of marriage, I would get nothing. After 10 years, it would be an even split, provided I wasn't at fault for the divorce. We got married in a lavish ceremony, surrounded by friends and family. I remember looking into Sarah's eyes as we exchanged vows, thinking that this was the beginning of our happily ever after. Little did I know, our marriage was built on a foundation of lies and deceit. The first few years of our marriage were okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. Sarah was focused on her career, and I supported her every step of the way. I took on more responsibilities at home, often putting my own career aspirations on the back burner to help her succeed. She landed a high-profile job that involved frequent interactions with government officials. Her star was rising, and I was proud to be by her side. We had kids, two beautiful children who became the center of my world. I threw myself into fatherhood with gusto, relishing every moment with our little ones. Sarah was a good mother, but her job often kept her away from home. I told myself that it was okay, that we were a team, and this was how we balanced our responsibilities. It wasn't until our 8th year of marriage that my world came crashing down. I discovered, quite by accident, that Sarah had been having an affair, and not just any affair. She had been sleeping with her ex-boyfriend, the same one her parents had disapproved of throughout our entire marriage. The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt angry, betrayed, and utterly devastated. 8 years of my life, 8 years of supporting her, loving her, building a family with her. And all this time, she had been living a double life. The worst part? I realized that she had never truly loved me. I was just a convenient option, a safe choice that her parents approved of. I was at a crossroads. Part of me wanted to confront her immediately, to scream and shout and demand answers. But another part of me, the pragmatic part, remembered the prenup. We were only 2 years away from our 10th anniversary, the magic number that would entitle me to half of our assets in a divorce. After days of agonizing over my decision, I chose to stay silent. I decided that I could endure 2 more years of this farce of a marriage. After all, I had unknowingly lived with her infidelity for 8 years already. What was 2 more years in the grand scheme of things? Those 2 years were the hardest of my life. Every day was a struggle to maintain normalcy, to act as if everything was fine when I was dying inside. I threw myself into work and spent as much time as possible with our children. I avoided being alone with Sarah whenever I could, making excuses about work or the kids. If she noticed any change in my behavior, she never mentioned it. As our 10th anniversary approached, Sarah suggested we take a vacation to celebrate. Her parents offered to foot the bill for a luxurious getaway. I agreed, playing the role of the loving husband one last time. We spent a week at a beautiful resort, and I have to admit, there were moments when I almost wavered in my resolve. Watching her laugh and play with our kids on the beach, I caught glimpses of the woman I thought I had married. But then I'd remember the betrayal, the years of lies, and my determination would return stronger than ever. The day after we returned from our anniversary trip, I filed for divorce. I had a lawyer prepare all the necessary paperwork, including evidence that the prenup had lapsed and our assets were to be split evenly. When I handed Sarah the divorce papers, the look of shock on her face was almost comical. She couldn't understand why I would do this, especially after our wonderful holiday together. I kept my explanation simple. I just don't think we're compatible anymore. I didn't mention the affair or her ex-boyfriend. Part of me wanted to throw it all in her face, to make her feel even a fraction of the pain I had endured. But I held back, mainly for the sake of our children. Speaking of our children, yes, they are mine. I had discreetly done paternity tests when I first discovered Sarah's infidelity. The results showed that both kids were biologically mine, which was both a relief and a complication. I love my children more than anything in this world, and I'm determined to shield them from the ugly truth about their mother's actions. As for Sarah, she's been alternating between anger and attempts at reconciliation. She's accused me of blindsiding her, of throwing away our marriage for no reason. Her parents are confused and upset, constantly calling and asking what went wrong. I've maintained maintained my stance of incompatibility, refusing to divulge the real reason for our split. I know I have the power to blow everything wide open. I've kept all the evidence of Sarah's affair, and I could easily send it to her parents or her ex-boyfriend's wife. I could destroy her reputation, both personally and professionally. But that's not what I want. All I'm after is a fair division of our assets and a chance to move on with my life while being able to provide for our children. However, I'm prepared to use this information if I absolutely have to. If Sarah tries to contest the divorce or fight for more than her fair share, I won't hesitate to reveal the truth. It's a last resort, but it's a card I'm willing to play if pushed into a corner. Now, as I navigate the choppy waters of divorce proceedings, I find myself questioning my actions. Was I wrong to stay silent about the affair for 2 years? Should I have confronted Sarah immediately when I found out? Was it deceitful of me to wait until after our 10th anniversary to file for divorce, knowing it would affect the financial outcome? Part of me feels justified in my actions. After all, Sarah betrayed me first and in a much more profound way. She lied to me for our entire marriage, made a fool out of me, and robbed me of the chance to find true love and happiness. By waiting those 2 extra years, I've secured my financial future and ensured that I can provide a good life for our children. But another part of me feels guilty. I've essentially deceived her too, albeit for a much shorter time and for what I believe is a just cause. I've also robbed her of 2 years where she could have potentially ended things with her ex and tried to salvage our marriage, though I doubt I could have ever truly forgiven her. As I sit here, pouring my heart out to strangers on the internet, I can't help but wonder, am I the asshole for what I did? Was I justified in my actions, or have I stooped to her level? I've tried to do what's best for myself and my children, but at what cost? I don't regret my decision to divorce Sarah. Our marriage was a sham, and I deserve better than a partner who never truly loved me. But the way I went about it, the calculated planning, the deception, the timing sometimes keeps me up at night. In the end, I suppose life isn't always black and white. Sometimes we're forced to navigate the murky grays of morality, making choices that aren't perfect but seem necessary at the time. As I move forward with my life, I hope I can find peace with my decisions and create a better future for myself and my children. So, Reddit, what do you think? Am I the asshole in this situation? Or was I justified in my actions given the circumstances? I'm open to your thoughts and judgments. After all, that's why I'm here, seeking perspective from those who aren't entangled in this mess. Your input might just help me find some clarity in this chaos that has become my life.